I'd give a little garden tour here since it's the end of May. This peach tree here has lots of peaches all over it. And they have 3 peach trees and 1 nectarine tree, and they all have lots of peaches. So the 1 peach tree is now dropping peaches because I have no idea, although it's really weird is it was doing great until I was standing by it talking with my neighbor and talking about how I was going to cut it down probably after it made peaches, and then it started dropping all of its peaches. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Maybe it heard me. There's peach there, and that's a nectarine. These bananas are coming back really good. Look how fast they're growing. That one over there is in just like 3 weeks. They're looking really, really nice. Although I don't know what kind they all are. There's like 2 or 3 different kinds. All through here. And some of the marigolds coming up here, and here some of them are coming up. And you can see onions here and there. So we have onions and marigolds. I need to harvest peas, because there's peas. Oh, look at that strawberry. Gooseberries, lots of gooseberries. They're such tiny little plants. They produce a lot of berries. Currants in here. The red ones. And over here are the white ones. These ones are a little bit bigger, it looks like. They get kind of this color when they're ripe. Ew. That one wasn't very good though. The seed tape bed. And lettuce. Here coming up, I did the tape. And in here, when these were really small, I thought they were carrots, but they're dill. And but there are carrots right here. I wonder why there was such a big patch of carrots coming up right there, and it wasn't. It was just dill. Once they got a little bigger, I could tell. Same with these turnips here. When they started growing, I was like, those are some weird looking radishes. And then I was watching Gardening with Bernie, and she harvested these turnips, and I was like, oh, they're turnips. And now that they're bigger, you can tell they're turnips. So that was some turnip seed tape I made and laid down. And here is, apparently I did a strip of like beets or chard or something, and it looks like only 3 of them came up, or something right there might come up. I don't know. And tomatoes, I have been mulching them with grass clippings and stuff. I actually went and mowed that wild field where I found the roses, and took a bunch of the clippings and put them all around my tomatoes to protect them from disease and keep them healthy. This way, marigolds all around my tomatoes and all around those tomatoes too, and in between some of them and stuff. These are my real tomatoes, the cherry ones. There's the pepper. Another one. These are really good. All the marigolds coming up. With some porridge that I threw in there. Another pepper. That was dropping all of this fruit when I mentioned about, oh, see, I just did one. When I mentioned about not being so nice to it. oh, see? It just keeps dropping them. Or maybe it really did get mad at me that I said I was going to cut it down. Shh, I'll never say it again. Plum tree that had all the beautiful blooms that I didn't think was going to make fruit is making fruit, but like birds and things all seem to be getting it, and insects and stuff, because I really don't want to spray. These have no more fruit. Something ate them all. tree here is loaded with cherries. I'm excited about it. Strawberry that grew from seed in my driveway, and I moved it, and now it's growing crazy. And it's an apple seed that I grew into a little trees I'm trying to grow. I know it takes forever to get apples, and they could be whatever, but I could still use them for cider apples or making vinegar and things, so it's fine. Oregano, and some burdock growing there. These are my golden berries, my peachy berries, my garlic. The garlic is doing really well, I think. Excited that the garlic is doing so well, because I've never grown garlic before. So if you want to see how I planted it, I did it last fall. There's a video on it. I think it was harvesting carrots and then planting the garlic, because I had carrots growing here before. The elder plants are doing really good. And these beds here, which like I said, I'm not really planning on really caring about these. These are stuff in here. I'm waiting for it to break down, and then next year it'll be really good soil for me to actually plant stuff in and really care about it. But there's eggplants in here, and they seem to be doing well. There's a sunflower. This is some type of melon or pumpkin or something. There's artichokes right there. Another eggplant. So the eggplants are growing in here, along with this here and this. They seem to be doing good. I mean, these are really good looking eggplants, and this is the first time I've ever had eggplants look that nice when I tried to grow them, so maybe this was a trick, or them in a pile of compost. And I planted a bunch of beans in there too. The kale is going to flower. It survived in here from all last year that I threw in here to compost, and I threw it in here to compost. It was just like a dead root looking thing, and it sprouted all this stuff, and it's made all these blooms. It's pretty cool. Little daisy things that just came up on the room there. I like to keep stuff all crazy and wild. Peach tree. This is the smallest peach tree that I have. It has peaches on it. I bought it, I think, 2 years ago. This is the third year I've had it. It probably was 2 years when I bought it, so this is probably a 5-year-old tree. Different beans, kidney beans and things, and some semi-runner. Here's my nectarines. Hopefully they will be okay too, because I really like nectarines. Grapes are doing really good. I made that arbor thing, tunnel, whatever you want to call it, to put grapes and squash and stuff on. The Mountie was broken down really fast already. There's lettuce in here. I don't know what this is. I think it's knotweed or something. I don't know. There's also lentils and some squash and other stuff that I planted all through it, so eventually next year when this will be more broken down too, I can also use this to plant all kinds of stuff in. Although, like I said, I'm planting stuff in it this year and it's working out. Over here I have squash, and well, I think that's a dead grapevine, so I'll have to replace it, but I wanted it to grow up this stuff here. Little thing. Scarlet runner beans on this side all over so they can grow up, but something ate some of them here. And some of them are, well, that one's coming up, and that one, and that one, and that one, so maybe they're just coming up late, but stuff is, as you can see, something's digging in here. The squirrel. There'll be a lot of grapes this year. This thing is loaded with them. This is so I can have all the grapes growing across it, and then I also have a Hearty Kiwi bush over here too, so that So the grapes can grow on this side, and the squash, and then the runner beans and the Hearty Kiwi over here. Here's the Hearty Kiwi bush. And this actually is a male and a female, so I don't need both. So that's pretty cool. Just need this one plant. This looks like basil. Maybe it is. Stored potting soil for that basil. I mean for that right here. I used old potting soil. So maybe that is basil coming up. And maybe it is because it looks like it's coming up right there too. Amaranth. My bananas. I'm pretty sure maybe those are chickpeas. I've never grown either before, lentils or chickpeas, but I threw lentils and chickpeas and all kinds of stuff around, and maybe that's what those are. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out though. We're gonna find out because they're growing everywhere. And right here, like I said, this looks like a bunch of rotting mulch and stuff like my other beds, and it is. But this part, I have morel mushroom spores growing, so hopefully next year I'll have morel mushrooms all through here. And I have some more. I think this is large banana squash or pumpkin here and here and here. So that's the point of those, is just to cover this up so it doesn't look as unsightly during the middle of the summer, until it all breaks down and becomes mushrooms and a nice garden bed. Berries and raspberries. Well, some of them. I have another huge section over by this hill. Oh, blackberries and raspberries. And I kind of think these might be blackberries that are from birds eating the ones I grew, because they don't really have any thorns. So, I mean, there's few, but there's not nearly as many as I would think. And they're awfully large and healthy. Maybe they just like growing here, I guess. But I'm wondering if they're a cross between the raspberry and the blackberry that I had growing over there, side by side. Which are coming up slow. It seems like this year are my giant hardy hibiscus that are like, the blooms get like the size of a dinner plate. And I think these are chickpeas. I don't know, if anyone has grown chickpeas or lentils, let me know which one this is. This is amaranth. And then all these are cannas. I have to have all the bananas and cannas around my front, but I'm like hesitant to show that because, I don't know, it's the internet and people are weird. So I don't really want to show the front of my house, maybe. But it also has like the same, it has marigolds and amaranth and cannas. Bed here that I was just gonna start mowing over, I decided to go ahead and put a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower and lettuce and stuff in, and it's grown really well. I have an apricot, and an apricot. These two are apricots, and that one's an apricot. And that's a dwarf Stella cherry. That is a Romeo cherry. I just like to hang my laundry sometimes though, so that's what that is. And what's growing here is the Juliet cherry, so I have the Juliet and the Romeo. Looks like I have little huts or something getting ready to be built with like the tomatoes and the stuff for my beans and squash and stuff going over there. I'm gonna start living outside. And if anyone is having a hard time growing blueberries, then don't get a Saskatoon berry. Get a couple of them. These things will get 8 to 10 feet tall, and they're loaded with berries. And these are just a few years old. They're loaded. And I had some last year, and they taste way, way better than a blueberry. They're like a blueberry, but better. So if you are trying to grow blueberries and you can, grow these, they're great.